Mm. Hey y'all, welcome to the Devon A. Morris Unfiltered Call-In Show. Have a seat. Let's get ready. You have any questions? Come on, call in. Come on to that Discord channel. Do me a favor, get the unfiltered crew some finger snaps. We're ready to get started here. Mondays, 8 p.m. Every single Monday, we're here. I'm excited about it. Are you? Let's get this show started, y'all. The greatest scrum show on earth. I'll see y'all soon. Enjoy. I love it. Hey, how y'all doing today? We got another show going with the Unfiltered Show where we talk about Scrum, entrepreneurship, all those great things. I'm your host, Devon Morris. I'm here to be your guide on this journey. And the topic we're talking about today, I didn't prepare any slides, anything like that, because now I'm starting to create articles. So I can give you all the whole entire article and have that article available for you to see all the little crushing details. And what I'll probably do, will run through the bullet points, the biggest bullet points on the article, and maybe have some discussion with you about it. But what I've noticed is something really interesting. On days that I don't have an actual topic, people talk more. People actually ask more questions, right? So I'm at the point where it's just like, it's interesting because I ran a test before, and it's like, you guys ask more questions when I don't have a topic. And so I'm curious if that's true. So I think I'm going to lean away from the topic idea and start making the whole hour really more about questions. And then we just talk about the little topic for 5 minutes. If we need to talk about a little bit more than that, you all can ask questions about it. We can go from there. But it's just a good day. So hopefully things are going well with you all. Make sure you jump into the chat. You say hello, hi, all those wonderful and great things. For my folks out there on LinkedIn, I'm going to say what's up to you as well. If you really want to really get involved in the conversation happens a lot more over here on YouTube. So you got to join us over there if you want to interact with us in any kind of way. So I just need to let you know that so you're aware, and then we can just kind of huddle up and go from there. LinkedIn is not showing live for me for some strange reason, so I'm going to reset it. I don't know what's going on over there, but sometimes it happens that way. But we'll see what happens over here. But again, say hi whether you're on LinkedIn or you're on YouTube, either place. I'll make sure that I speak out to you in just a little bit. So, how's your week been? How have things gotten started for you all, right? What's going on? Anything special happening for you this week? I'm really happy that I can't say I'm happy that we passed that we had the holiday last weekend. I enjoyed the holiday last weekend. I was really trying to holiday today, and it didn't work out that way. The holiday did not extend. The weekend did not extend in the day for me, and that right there was just a little sucky. But that's okay. I figure it out along the way. So I want to start talking about our little topic for the day. And what I probably will do is just, I'm improvising here, y'all. So probably what I'll do is I'll just pull it up on my iPad and then just kind of pull the article up and then just point out what we're talking about. That might be a good way to do this. That's interesting. Just really thought about it just a moment ago. So, bear with me as I open that up and see that and utilize that as an option. Maybe I won't because I look like I don't have no power. But that's okay. Y'all hold on. I'm going to go get my power so I can power that up. Just give me a second. This is so crazy. Oh, man. Y'all can see sometimes I'm prepared, but when I come up with a new idea about something, it's just a little bit different. So just bear with me as I plug this up. And then we'll be able to use that for the time being. You know what I'm going to do, y'all? I'm going to redo my office. I got this image of what I'm gonna do with this office space. It's gonna be the same background. I just need things in the space to be a little bit different. I don't know why. How every year or so you want to change things up. I think I'm ready to change things up a little bit. So we'll see. we'll see. I want to test some things out and play around with some things, see how that works out. So that being said, let me see how the folks while I'm here before we talk about anything. Let's see, as usual. Hey, CT, how you doing? How's life treating you? Hopefully everything is going well. Everything's good with me, brother. You know, Rajiv, how are you? I'm doing well over here. Just trying to live this life that we're supposed to live. Miss White, how are you? Let's see. Anybody else? Just go ahead and drop a hi. Patrick, as usual, what's going on with you, brother? Hopefully you are doing well. Very well. Patrick's always there. Love Patrick. Let's see. I'm going to jump to my website real quick over here. Some of you all, have you all been receiving the newsletter? Anybody that's not receiving the newsletter here? You should be receiving the newsletter. If you haven't, you should make sure you receive the newsletter. Only reason why I say that is because it's I think I'm putting some good information out there. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Maybe you like what I'm doing, maybe you don't. We'll see. But, you know, today's newsletter went out, and I think it was a good one, talking about the fire thing, and then that being our topic for the day. So hopefully you got a chance to read it. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. If you got a chance to read it, this will be a good time to really have a conversation about it. There we go. All right, so that being said, if you haven't seen that newsletter, classically I drop topics out there that are pointing toward website articles, right? Website articles, because if you all don't remember, at least one point in this past, I showed you my mind map of something I started in 2020. That's about careers and jobs and stuff like that. And I figured I'd take the articles that I wrote over time and start to release those things, make them available to people. But I'm doing it on the Devon Morris website because, again, I'm getting a PhD and I'm transitioning my brand. For you all will want more information about that later, but we'll talk about that at some point. So let's talk about this little topic, that I find to be very interesting. And that is, I'm getting fired. How do I prepare for it? First thing is, I've been fired several times, but most of my firings have been the contract that rolls off to some degree. That's been most of them, or the place where I get in an organization where there's nothing else left for me to do, and I'm on contract, so we kind of agree. The last time I got fired was in an organization, right? And that was just an immediate walkout. So what I've done in my life is I've actually prepared to get fired every time I join an organization, period. I am pretty much ready to go from day dot, ready to be eliminated, laid off, or whatever it is. And I've done that for a long time. Since I decided to become a consultant, which is many, many years ago. So that's over 20 years ago. So I'm pretty much prepared for most things when it comes to working with any organization at this particular point in time. That's the reason why I take contracts, because at the end of the day, with a contract, I'm not as committed to the organization, so it's okay when I'm let go of and it don't feel like a firing so much. So let me talk to you about at least the things that are on my list that I kind of get together, right? The first thing I will tell you is I have a friend that has run into a problem with their organization, and it's turned into a big issue. That friend has done something really interesting that I must mention here, and that is they have documented everything. And it's really important that I say that to you. One of the things that I've learned in listening to their experience is a lot of times when we sign on for things and we sign on into a job, we sign things that puts us in amazing positions if something goes wrong. And those amazing positions, I kind of see being played out with this guy named Bo. I think his name Bo DeMaio or something like that. There's a show called X-Men 97, a cartoon that came out this past year, and Bo DeMaio got fired, and ultimately his credits stripped, and he sued in the past 5 days, and likely he signed an arbitration agreement, and that lawsuit, when Disney goes back to him and respond, they're going to respond taking it back to arbitration. And similar things happen when you go into your workplace, right? You'll sign a document that says you need to sue them in a state, or you can't do this or you can't do that. So even though you might be excited about being hired, be careful with the things that you are signing. Be careful with the things that you are signing, right? Keep records of many of the things that you sign, especially if you feel like it's not even feel like, because if something goes wrong, it's the only time you got to worry about is when something goes wrong, right? And so it is important for you to keep records, especially of your like performance reviews, especially of the awards you get. Just those records that show who you were in your lifetime of being with that organization. When you're getting walked out the door, though, you need to have a conversation. That conversation is important. You may want to walk out the door. Well, you want to understand the reasons why they're kind of, departing ways with you. And they'll take the company speak. They'll do that to you. But the more information you can find out, the better. Just make sure that you document as much as you can, right? Just make sure you're not so desperate when you get that job that you put yourself in a position that you can't take back. Does that make sense? I mean, am I crazy when I think about that? When I say that, again, things are fine when everything's cool. You understand? When you're smiling and they're smiling, nobody has an issue. The only issue comes when there's a disagreement and you're not happy with whatever the outcome is, and now you're not the organization with all the big dollars and you have nothing that you can do, even though something wrong truly did happen. So the first thing I'm gonna tell you is make sure you gain clarity. Make sure you don't sign all your rights away, and whatever you do sign away, make sure there's a clear understanding of what you're signing, and you keep records of that, right? And then just make sure along the way you keep documents of everything, right? The whole reason why I say to keep the documents is because you may want to dispute the termination. Okay. It just is what it is. Again, in good times is great. If you are currently at the gig and you currently with your employer, I can't say that most of us leave on good terms. So if you've been working with your employer for however number of years, there's nothing that stops you from beginning this process today. Okay? So make sure you start documenting things, learn what your state laws are. It is important for you to be informed before things go wrong. Okay? So that's really, really important. I'll ask a question. Anybody had any experience with that? Anybody here that has experienced a situation where things have gone wrong and you was able to protect your rights, protect yourself, or, you wasn't able to, right? Have you had one of those situations happen, and would you do something really different at this point? I mean, maybe you wanted to leave. Maybe you was cool with that, right? I just know for me, as a black man, I've never been a person that went to fight when I felt somebody has treated me wrong at a job. I've always had the feeling that it's okay for them to treat me wrong because it's the way that they treat people who look like me. And that's not the correct way to think. When I decided to take up for myself, that's how Bearded Eagle got started. And so, it's just one of those things where I think you need to think about that from the very beginning. CT, he agrees with me completely and says, don't be polite about your own record keeping. Keep your records. Please do. Be careful about what you're signing in the very beginning, right? Understand that stuff, right? I'm not saying you need to have a lawyer look at everything that you do, but they got lawyers, So I'm just saying, right? The next thing on this list, the second thing that you'll find there, at least in the article that I wrote out, is financial planning is key. You know, there's someone who wants to have a conversation with me because they're about to go into consulting. I'm gonna have a conversation with them. Known them for a while. Out of Indianapolis, and I remember when I trained them back in the day, and it's been a good relationship over time. But I remember when I decided to become a consultant, and how I had to position myself to create Bearded Eagle, right? You know, when I couldn't fight for my rights before Bearded Eagle was started, I had to stay at an organization definitely longer than I was comfortable, if that makes sense, because I wasn't completely ready. Now, let me let you know what ready is in my head, right? My finances weren't 100% there. I would say there was probably about 3+ months of stuff, 3+ months of living put away, right? So the first thing that I'm going to say to you is, if I had anything to tell you, it would be make sure that you have 6 months to a year of living expenses put to the side. Like all those things that you need to live off of for a year, put it to the side. Like I can't make this any plainer, right? Because I wasn't able to jump out for Bearded Eagle because of that reason initially. I had to stay several more months, right? And here's the deal. I fought him a little bit and argued with him a little bit during that time, but I wasn't empowered because I didn't put myself in the right position. And the reason why I say that to you is this. For some of you all, when you leave and you go grab severance, you get the severance from them, you get unemployment you apply for unemployment, you start getting that. That may not be the salary that you was making. The severance will last you, but it may last you for a month, depending on how long you've been there, maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months, maybe 4 months, I don't know, right? It may last you a bit of time. But if it doesn't last you a solid 6 months worth of time, it could take you 6 months to find a new gig. You could be like, if you got fired right now, a lot of organizations may not be looking to hire in the fall term, right? In the fall season. And then the new fiscal year for them may start in January. And then they're kind of getting things moving and they may not really be hiring anybody till March. And so that's a solid 6 months, right? If you're jumping out there to be a consultant all of a sudden, literally, once I jumped out and got Bearded Eagle's first gig down in San Antonio, we signed a net 90. We signed a net 90. Now understand, that meant we wasn't getting paid for 90 days. That sounds okay. That's 3 months. Okay? But that's 3 months from the invoice. We were submitting invoices monthly. So that means from when I started the gig, 30 days, and then 90 days after that. Right? So now we're talking 120 days. That's 4 months right there. And then the organization truly didn't pay me to 30 days later. Then they got in a rhythm after that. So it's 5 months of me not getting paid. Seriously. Right? 5 months of me getting paid, me having a wife and 6 kids at that time. Child support, all those things still got to happen, still in motion, everything else, right? That makes sense. You understand what I'm saying, right? So if you're not ready financially, it's going to be a disaster for you. So don't wait to get ready. Get ready now. Get ready now. There's no reason for you not to be ready. There's no reason. There's no excuses. Okay? Next, if the organization all of a sudden decides to just lay you off today, fire you today, whatever you want to call the reason why you have to leave, one thing that will help you is you having, a professional profile that looks okay. Like, literally. I don't have a better way to put that. If you have a professional profile that looks like it should, right? There are people here, like some of you all right now, and I'm included in this. Understand, I'm included in this, right? I got bearded eagles, so I operate a little bit different. I don't worry about LinkedIn at all. It's not how I drive business. Most of my business is referral business. So I drive it based on what other people say about me. And that's due to the fact I've been able to build it for a long time. But if I was starting today, I wouldn't be able to do that. So I'll tell you, man, your resume is super important. Today, LinkedIn is super important. Excuse me. Some of y'all know that I have sent you all to a thing called Brandon Land, right? And in Brandon Land, John Signal showed us how to do a job scan. And with a job scan, you're able to compare your resume to the job description. Your resume to the job description. Now, I did that for my resume, which I had not updated for 10 years, okay? And the job description, right? Something that I should be a shoe-in for. Now, I'm a certified Scrum trainer. I've been doing Scrum since 2005. And what it does is shows a percentage match between your resume and the actual job. Man, mine was like 13%. Let me say that again so you understand. When I did that job match, the job scan thing, and compared my resume to a agile coach, enterprise agile coach type of gig, something that I should easily be able to just hands and nails just qualify for, it was at 13%. And here's the deal. I was helping a friend recently with their resume, right? Now, don't help people with their resumes. I want you to understand. Don't be coming to me about that crap. I just don't do that kind of stuff, right? But this is really special. All right, so, and submitting their resume, we learned a couple things. It appears that some organizations are using AI features like chatbots, machine learning, those kind of things on the chatbot when you submit it. So they let you know immediately whether you qualify or you don't. They will tell you, like, we are going to move on to other candidates. Do you understand? So understand, I don't know what their marker is for what that percentage match should be, or trying to get through the ATS with it matching up with your resume. But with that same friend, we applied for something that they definitely wasn't, they had to have fraud experience. They have no fraud experience. None whatsoever. When I say zero fraud experience, right? But we was able to get their resume through with an 80% match of their resume to the job description. And they got through to a human, and the human said they didn't qualify. You understand? I'm telling you, man, it is so important for you to really spruce up your professional profile, right? And again, that's all digital. I know it's not the easiest thing to do, right? I need to do it, right? I need to do it, right? I'm rebranding myself, right? And so I need to do it. You understand? I really need to do it. Have some of y'all, am I joking here? Have any of you all experienced that situation where you submitted a resume immediately, submitted it, and then they let you know within about 5 minutes that you're not qualified? Have any of you all experienced that? Or am I the only fool out here that's experienced it? Like, it cannot be unique to me. Am I right? I don't know. Y'all tell me. Because I was shocked, man. I was shocked. Okay? I was shocked. For real. All right. Let's move on past this. So up, get your digital life together, your professional presence, put that together, right? Next thing on this list is make sure you do some career coaching, right? I'm not saying to go do that exactly, right? But if you're going to get a career coach, man, pick somebody that's been there. Pick somebody who's been there already. Like, I have people who pay people money for stuff and they've never even done that kind of work before. Like, no. If you're going to have a career coach, pick somebody who can help you get better with your job strategy. Like overall, like better with your presence, better with where you're going in terms of career, not just getting you to the next job. You understand? A career coach should be able to take you much further than that to your ultimate why, to your ultimate dream. That's what you want, right? So if you're going to pick a career coach, find somebody and, pay them. Pay them. You're probably going to pay them good money if they've been around it before. But pay them, right? And spend good money on a good coach. Somebody can help you get there. They're not going to be the one that's going to get you the job. But the idea is that even when you're at the job or at the job you want to be at, you still need that career coach to help you navigate your career and keep it moving where you want it to go. So that's a piece of advice. For me, I didn't have a career coach. I have more of a mentor for the business, right? So I had a guy who was a millionaire who actually helped me with Bearded Eagle. He helped me with Bearded Eagle. Ultimately, a fraternity brother that took me under his wings, right? And that was really important for me, and he helped me out tremendously. Bearded Eagle definitely wouldn't be what it became without him, right? Unfortunately, tomorrow's World Suicide Day. My mentor ended up committing suicide, right? Many years ago. He said he was gonna do that kind of stuff, but that is literally what happened. And we want to prevent suicide. So if you got people that you care about that's depressed or in that kind of place, go talk to them. Go take care of them. Okay. So I just want to mention that. That brings in the next topic, which is really simple: mental health. Your mental health is really, really important. Take a moment to process your emotions, man. The truth is that when when you get fired, it's a shocking thing. When I got fired, I actually was really excited. I was really excited when I got fired, man. I really tried my best to get fired. Like, I really did everything in my power to get fired. Because I had those 6 kids, right? So I couldn't just quit. So I did everything in my power to get fired. I kid y'all not, man. I really did do everything in my power to get fired. And when they finally fired me, I was still offended. I was still offended. I remember it because I tell this in the class sometimes. They took me to the office, like the CIO and the HR person. And the CIO said to me, man, do you really want to be here? Do you want this job, right? And I had a dog named Princess Chloe. Beagle. It's Beagle. Smart dog, right? And when you start talking to that dog about things the dog didn't want to talk about, she would just go, like that. She would just go, just like that. So in the interview, when they took me in to fire me, and they asked me, hey, man, do you still want this job? I literally went, That's what I did, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. And they walked me out the door immediately. They walked me out immediately. Oh, it was horrible. It was cool though. It was cool. I love that job. It was great, man. They had a gym. They had everything I needed, right? But yeah, man, I had to get fired. But it is what it is, right? So my point to you is take care of your mental health, right? One of the things that I've talked about in one of the articles is bouncing back from a job setback. And the first thing that I would tell you is that your emotions are okay. Take a moment, right? Literally take a moment, right? Take a moment, right? Acknowledge your feelings. You may feel some guilt. You may feel whatever emotion, but take some time. It's okay to have those emotions. And men, I'm going to say this in particular to men. It's all right to have these emotions, man. right? You don't have to be an emotional desert. You understand? It's okay, right? Take a moment to acknowledge those feelings, right? Um, you know, sometimes we don't feel as adequate. Sometimes our mood is completely off, completely ruined. Got that heft on us, right? Take a moment. Sit in that. Sit in that if you have to for a hot second, right? For a hot minute, right? Don't make it a hot hour. Don't make it a hot bunch of days, right? But take care of yourself in it, right? Do something that's gonna make yourself smile. Try to stay positive because your mental health is gonna be what's get you back on track, and that's what's gonna get you to the place where you are really truly applying for those jobs, right? And me helping my friend apply for jobs. Um, that first job where we did the job scan and updated the resume and everything else, man, took 2 hours. Took 2 hours. Like, and I'm not used to taking 2 hours to apply for a job, right? Right? But it's almost like you have to get through the sea of everybody else because they get so many resumes now. So how do you make yours different? And it took 2 hours, man. It took a legitimate 2 hours. So in one night, was able to get two jobs applied for, and two resumes that was uniquely different. And now I feel like they have two nice resumes now that they can utilize for future ones or tweak the ones that's closest to the next job that's applied for. So they have a goal of actually applying for probably about 6 to 10 jobs a week, 6 minimum. Again, is that every day you doing two a day when it takes 2 hours plus to complete a few of them? That's a bit tough to ask people to do. So again, I think your mental health can help you get through that, can help you through that challenge of actually applying and applying and applying. So just get back to that place where you got a positive outlook. Focus on the opportunities that are ahead, and I think you will turn out just fine. But your mental health is an important part of that. Next thing I would say to you is prepare to exit. I'm gonna just say it to you this way. I mean, yeah, return the company property. Yeah, do it the right way. If I'm you, I'm gonna be prepared to exit the moment I walk in the door. Yeah, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be prepared to walk out the door as soon as you walk in the door. To me, you want to be prepared to exit before you even walk in the door. So my statement to you is be ready to exit. Don't just prepare to exit. If I was to give you some advice beyond what I wrote as I'm thinking about this now, it makes me feel like I need to go change the article, is be ready to exit. Be ready to exit. Um, you know, and kind of go from there. I got a question. I'll answer your question in just a moment, Eugenia. Okay. Let me close this out, right? So next thing, know your rights. We talked a little bit about that legal stuff earlier. And I would say, for some of us, you may need to hire an attorney. If you ain't got the money to hire an attorney, then it is what it is. But you may need to talk to somebody about your legal rights. So make sure you prepare for that as well. And then finally, just don't take it personally. Just don't take it personally, right? That's probably the most important thing. In terms of it, just don't take it personally. The more you take it personally, the worse off you will be. And if I'm you, I would just not take it personally. I mean, I don't know how to better say that to you. There's no magical way to say that. If you are taking it personally, the best way I think about it, man. I hate to say this. I don't hate to say it. I think it's just the truth. Companies, when somebody fires you, they hide behind the company to fire you. And the company's not a person. It doesn't have any emotions. So there's no human elements to the company. So why allow the company to exist in your humanity? I don't see any logic in allowing a company to exist in your humanity, because the moment when they want to get rid of you, they're going to let the company get rid of you, which will be completely devoid of humanity. And to keep your humanity, be ready to go. Don't take it personal because it's business. Does that make sense? If an executive makes a $1 billion mistake, they're going to take that out of the butts of the employees. Do you understand? And they still going to get paid their millions. Okay? So I just want to say that to you, right? So if you want to read on this article, y'all, I may update it to say be ready to go. I dropped the link in the chat on YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and jump over to LinkedIn in just a moment and drop it there. So, and then it's there too. So then you all have access to it all over the place. LinkedIn is not showing up right. So, you know, if you hear me over in LinkedIn, come over to YouTube. That's the best place to see this. All right. So that being said, I'm going to open the floor for questions. You know how we operate in terms of questions. We're just going to open the floor for questions. But you can drop those questions in the comments. You also know that you can join the show live to ask your questions, right? Yeah, man. I can't say it any different, Patrick. And I know you agree with me completely, man. These companies don't have no humanity, man. They just don't. I'm gonna write that down because I'm gonna write an article about it. Yeah, I'm gonna write an article about it, man. I hate to say it, because I just believe it to be true. Companies don't have humanity. No, companies don't have humanity. I find a better title than that, but I'm gonna write myself a note because I actually believe that to be. I believe it to be so true, and I believe that as soon as they get a chance, they hide right behind it. Right? So yeah. So I'm on that one all day. All right. So that being said, it's time for us to open up the floor for questions. Let's talk. So question number 1 here. Gina here is asking, do you think LinkedIn job searches are a joke? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. Here's the deal. Let's. I have someone who has answered this. CT has offered an opinion here, and CT says opinion on LinkedIn. It is hit or miss depending on the organization or job poster. There are some absolute lemons and duds posted as job openings, and then there are some real gems out there too. Do I think that I can't disagree or agree. I'm gonna be honest with you. With my friend that I was helping look for jobs, we said to ourselves, what companies do you really want to work for? What companies have we had positive experiences with in the past? And we went right directly to their websites. So, great example, I worked with USAA in the past. I know USA is a solid company, right? There was one point when I said to myself, USAA is a company I can do a long-term, be there lot for life, right? So I really respect USA on that level. You understand? I really, really do. USA is an insurance company, primarily insurance for the military, if you don't know who I'm talking about, right? Down there in San Antonio, got a big, nice, sprawling campus, 7 solid buildings connected. You can walk a mile and a half in the basement, right? And so, with me working for them, that's one of the places where I told my friend to go apply for a job there. Apply for a job there. You understand? And CT said things about duds and frauds and stuff like that. And yeah, I think that I've seen those on different sites. I don't care what the job posting site is. I think some of them out there steal your information. Like legitimately. I've seen jobs up there promising, $400,000, $500,000, and I'm looking at the job description like, you ain't paying somebody that. You're here to collect people's information is what you're here to do. And I've seen that. And I'm just like, no. Or recruiters out there recruiting for a position, and they put it out as a job posting. So I've seen various things. I think there's obviously legitimates out there, but I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's a good place for you to go, take a look at who's offering, and then probably I would leave the space of LinkedIn and go to their actual sites and see if they actually have it existing on their sites. Because I can imagine that a company is going to put a posting on LinkedIn and not post it on their personal website. That doesn't seem logical to me. And I'm only thinking about that because I'm paranoid about people stealing all my stuff, right? Let me go to the legitimate website and make sure it's somebody who is reputable to me, who I can go do some research on and I feel comfortable with providing them with my information. That's what I'm more concerned about. Um, and I think a lot of times, at least when I used to apply for jobs on these different job sites, it was just full of recruiters. Like I'd see a company that I don't know what their name is. I've never heard of them before. When I first got a job at Capital One, it was a company called Strategic Staffing Solutions. I was in the Midwest. I never heard of them before. Obviously, they're big enough to have several things on the East Coast. Maybe they're all over the country at this point. But the idea is that they hired me, and the job was through Capital One. So that's really when I really dived into consulting and started making the consulting money, right? And so, but I got that job through a posting that was Strategic Staffing Solutions. Um, and again, I didn't know who the heck they were, but that was in the Dice days. And so, I would think that there's definitely some gems out there. But I think the problem is consistent across every single job board. I don't think there's a job board that can prevent that from happening, because I don't know how a organization that posts those jobs can vet every single job as being legitimate that an organization has. If that makes sense. So I would just say to you, just be a little careful. Um, I'm from Chicago, so I have a different kind of paranoia. Um, but it's protected me well up to this point. So I would definitely say just really be really careful. Um, I think a job board is being a good place to find recruiters. Let's see. CT hates when recruiters tell you to pay and provide personal information to be considered. Oh no, hell no. Okay, nah, man. Look, man, nah, hell nah. Okay. So let me say this right. Seriously, if a recruiter is telling you to pay anything to be considered, you shouldn't do that. Like, you should not do that. You should not do that. Like, you should not do that. Like, I have no better way to say that to you, but you should not do that. If they're asking you to get paid, to pay them so you can be considered, they likely are not the ones that have the job, because there is no legitimate company that is asking you to pay them so they can pay you to be an employee. No way. No way. So recruiters of the past that I've worked with, they would never do that. They would never do that. They earn their money when they get me on the ground somewhere, and they earn it out of every single hour that I work. And you got to understand that these recruiting companies, if you making $50 an hour, they likely making 100. So every hour you're working, you're paying them pretty much a salary of what you're getting paid for many of them, right, or more, right? So my point to you is, nah, man, you want to think about this a little different. Don't pay nobody to allow you to be considered. That's ridiculous. Now, if they were guaranteeing something, I feel different about a guarantee. But if it's not a guarantee, don't be paying for it. Don't be paying for it. Like, once they have your information, they have it. I guarantee you get a lot more spam after you provide that information. 3 months from now, you're going to be in some database doing something crazy. Like, you're going to all of a sudden be in one of these Trump videos talking about Haitians eating chickens in the front yard. So I would not, I would stay away from that if I'm you. Like, legitimately. Like, for real. Okay? That just should not do it. They don't have the AI. They don't have the manpower or AI to vet. Yeah, only organizations, companies should be, it's a recruiter's job to vet. Forget AI. Forget AI. It's the recruiter's job to vet. The recruiter gets paid when they deliver. So now you have recruiters that are getting paid before they deliver. Well, how does that incentivize a recruiter? Yeah, nah, man, that's just bad business, man. That's bad business. So no, don't have the manpower. That means you just a one person recruiting company, and you're not really. And if you was really closing people, you wouldn't even ask anybody for the money because you're a good closer. So I wouldn't. I'd be so afraid of them. Like I'd be like, these are not good people because if they ain't got the manpower, they ain't got the manpower because they ain't making no money. They're not making no money because they're not closing no deals. They're not closing no deals because they crap. They crapola. Complete crap is what they are. And if they are charging you, they extra crap, right? So no, I don't let them give you no excuse. Like for real. No, that ain't the way it should work. So I would stay away from that, right? Some sites post jobs to get SEO ranking. Probably so. I'd imagine, that happens. But usually, a job's not going to post a job. Well, I guess they can. But if it's on their personal site, I don't know how much SEO you get from doing it on your own personal site. I understand doing it on LinkedIn, right? Doing it on LinkedIn, it tracks back to my website. I'm good to go. I mean, you make me feel like I need to go do it. Like I need to just make up a fake job for Bearded Eagle. Let me go make up a fake job for Bearded Eagle so I can get more people come to the website, right? So I get more traffic. Yeah, I can see that logic. I can see that logic. I can. But again, yeah, that's just tough, man. I've never done that for Bearded Eagle. Make me want to do it though. Nah, I don't want to do that. I don't do that. Just like extra effort I want to do. But I understand. Traffic reasons, yeah, I get why people would do that. But, that's not right. That's not cool. It's not cool at all. All right, so other questions. Any other questions that you all have at this point in time? Any other questions? I think, Chena, hopefully we answered your question about LinkedIn. We all think that it's good. We think that there's some bad out there. Definitely don't pay anybody, if anything. And that's where we have to leave that one at. I tend to go to find whatever there, go to the real website and apply on the real website, on the company's website. That's my tendency. And if they only put it out on LinkedIn, I get it. I guess you got to go through LinkedIn, but, yeah, I try to do reputable companies that I feel like I want to work for. It's crazy because, like, in the world that I live in today, I've worked for really probably 95% of the companies that I ever wanted to work for. Yeah. And so typically when I go look at a job, I look for a job. I get, or even if I work with somebody, look for a job, I get excited, right? Like I'm looking for a job. I'll be like, let's go to a company that I really loved back in the day, that I really wanted to work at. And they may hate the company, but I just want to do that. What's your favorite way to document personal performance or output on contracts or jobs? For me, it's return on investment. It's return on investment. If there's a favorite way that I would do it, it's return on investment. A great example of that is, I had a contract where we wanted to improve communications, and one of the markers for that is to lessen the need for a particular status meeting. And so my objective was at that time to improve communication, to improve the communication markers that would eliminate the actual meeting unless there was a meeting called for in case of an emergency. But the day-to-day cadence of the meeting eliminate all the different markers that were needed within that meeting and have a way for them to naturally get that information without us ever having to have the meeting again. For me, we put that in an OKR, and that becomes a part of the return on investment because that's time saved. And so my favorite way to measure things is time saved. I mean, not time saved, but return on investment associated with goals and OKRs and stuff like that. CT, you are actually in a PhD program. I try to do evidence-based things at this point. I don't try to just do subjective, anecdotal, feel-good things anymore. And so there's a reason why I'm tying specific measures to, OKR, objective key result. For those who don't know what an OKR is, objective key result, right? OKR, right? And so I try to tie everything to things that are measurable. And one of the best, well, one of the most well-established theories is the theory of goal setting. It's one of the ones that you can say consistently is true, right? And so realistically, probably if I do anything, it's usually around goal setting, and it's always a tie back to goals, because I know the measures or markers that it takes to meet goals and what we need to do to increase the likelihood of success for goal setting. Especially since I got into this PhD program, I got that evidence-based stuff down to a science at this point. And so it's one of those things where everything for me ties back to goals and to measure the goals a certain way, and then specific markers that's going to help us get to that particular goal, or each goal that's set, that ultimately ties into an OKR. Is how I classically think about things in life today, because I want to walk away from a contract with specific quantifiable successes. That's that. Some of you all have seen me in a class, and I say we took $6 million and turned it into $40 million of return on investment. That's quantifiable. We took a $6 million investment and turned it into $40 million worth of return on investment. That's quantifiable. That's something that people will look at and be like, "Dag, I understand." It isn't for me. I don't. So if I got a resume, it's not going to say if I facilitated a team. Everybody facilitates team, man. Everybody don't get results. That's the key. There's a ton of Scrum Masters out here that have never gotten a result in their life. Like, I've conducted the daily Scrum. It's not a result, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. I don't know. Maybe I just, it's one of those things. I was listening to Marlon Wayans today, and he was talking about his 10,000 hours, right? You know how people say if you spend 10,000 hours doing something, practicing something, that's how you reach a level of expertise, right? I've spent over 10,000 hours, within this agile space, within this educational space, within many of these spaces. I spent over 10,000 hours. So I am like a Gensu nice. I'm dangerous, man. I'm dangerous, right? No question. I spend over 10,000 hours training, over 10,000 hours coaching, over 10,000 hours as a Scrum Master, as a product owner, over 10,000 hours as a developer, over 10,000 hours managing a company, right, as an entrepreneur. I spend over 10,000 hours doing all these different things, right? I've spent over 10,000 hours marketing. I've just spent this kind of time, right? And so for me, Malcolm Gladwell to Cubs Shay no, Marlon Wayans, man. I'm not even talking about anybody extra fancy, right? Yeah, we talking. That's crazy, because I was watching Marlon Wayans today, man. I may take, we'll see. One of my daughter's 21st birthday is coming up, so I'm gonna have to take her to go see a comedian, right? And Marlon Wayans may be it. But yeah. Club Shay. That's what I was watching him on today, man. But yeah, I'm glad you watch it. Let's put it that way. Woo, man. Yeah. So I put my time in. The articles that like I'm putting out 3 articles a week at this point, but those articles have already been written. I spent lots of time during the pandemic writing articles. Every possible topic, everything I saw on the internet that was related to a career and job, I spent time writing on, right? And so now I've spent that time writing. Now it's time to get it out in the universe and give it to people and let them have it, right? So you're going to see over the next 2 years, me going through a transformation of rebranding myself. But you look, and when I say to you, hey, preparing to get fired, that ain't got nothing to do with Scrum. So, do y'all expect me to get a PhD and still be doing certified Scrum training like all the time? And that's what the only thing I'm known for? No, you know me for certified Scrum training. That's what you know me for. But I need you to know me for other stuff. So when I'm releasing these articles, I'm building another brand. I'm making it so I'm a known quantity in something else where I have another area of expertise. You know, I had over 500 clicks on that particular email that went out today, the newsletter. And the newsletter has 4 different articles. One of those articles is a revisit. So when you really think about it, that touch point of 500 clicks every single week, right? There's people taking a look at this stuff. So I'm raising my expertise in other areas, not just I'm a trainer. Does that make sense? So, some of you all are trying to do what I'm doing, but I'm doing it right in front of your eyes. And many of you got a front seat to see exactly what I'm doing. Like, you don't see all the integral parts, right? You wasn't there yesterday on a Sunday when I spent all day sitting on my couch and rewriting articles all day, right? You weren't there for that, right? You get to see the result of that, right? You're not there when I create that newsletter so then that thing can go out on a particular time. You're not there when I make sure that I got the social media lined up so then the articles is presented to the world. You're not there for that. You're not there for all that. But you're seeing it happen right in front of your face. I am rebranding myself, and in 2 years from now, you will see a different demand than what you see today. And my price will get higher, y'all. Today's price, yesterday's price is not today's price. I'm just saying, like Fat Joe said, yesterday's price will not be today's price. That's what is going to happen, right? And that today is going to be a year and a half to 2 years from now. There's going to be a today that happens a year and a half to 2 years from now, where yesterday's price and today's price are 2 very different things. Right now, that's not the case, but a year and a half, 2 years from now, that will be the thing. Do I sound crazy, y'all? I mean, what's wrong? Do I sound crazy? Oh, man, I'm just a mad scientist doing what I do. I remember when Tony Yayo would do this to try to hide his face because he was running from the police. And it became a whole dance. Anyway, you don't know who I'm talking about. Tony Yayo, 50 Cent, G Unit, those kind of people, right? That's what I'm talking about. All right, so on that note, y'all, it looks like we're good to go. Hopefully you got some value out of today. It's been a beautiful time. I've enjoyed you all. We're probably going to have more sessions like this because, again, you all stay engaged more when I don't bring up a slide deck. You just proved it again. So that being said, look, y'all, it's been an amazing time. I told myself what we're going to talk about next week. I'm going to tell you what we're going to talk about next week. I got to bring it up real quick. I think it's about sabotaging yourself is what we're going to talk about next week. But let me get that title about what we're going to talk about real quick so I can just throw it at you. I kind of got it queued up for whatchamacallit, but it really is, the fear of success, self-sabotage. That's what we're going to talk about next Monday. Fear of success, self-sabotage. That's what we're going to talk about next Monday. So come prepared. Be prepared to deal with it. I go through it too, so don't think that you're the only one. I definitely got stories about it where I didn't do things I was supposed to do. They could have definitely changed things, right? Definitely could have changed things tremendously, right? So Miss White, I created a presentation using the data from the company's internal AI chat. Now I need to verify the information. It looks good to me based on what I've researched so far. Yeah. The only thing you got to watch out with AI is the hallucinations. AI try to make you happy with wrong information. So just make sure you double check and make sure all that information is good and you'll be good to go. All right, Fat Joe came in. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everybody here. Y'all have an amazing, amazing week. I'll see you sometime soon. And if you're not subscribed to the newsletter, go to devonmorris.com and jump into the newsletter, devonmorris.com. You'll see a pop-up, right? So go ahead and jump in there, and so you can get that newsletter if you don't have it. Every week, Monday, it comes out. It's actually too much information I'm giving you all the time. And if you're not subscribed to this show, subscribe. It helps us out with the algorithms. I should say that in the very beginning, but I don't, because I just don't. But anyway, look, I will see y'all on the journey of life. Peace. I'll see you all soon. Have a good night. Bye-bye.